Here's the story. Johnny the Mad Dragon, that had my mother by his side. They were four fans, certainly obnoxious, but full of dragon's pride.
Here's the story of the great Jesse Godfrey, with Big T Go-Go and Mr. Rob. Never Jesse's crew, so fierce and passionate, and the red they shine true. There were one night when Johnny met young Jesse, and they knew it was much more than a hunt. That this group would form a fiery podcast. That's how we come from the Dragon's Back. Mad Dragon's Back. Mad Dragon's Back. That's the way we became the Mad Dragon's Back. Come on, Dragons fans! Fire up!
Well, g'day Dragons fans, and welcome to the preview of this round of NRL action, the last lot of trial games before the real thing. And the only Vegas-bound team dialing in is the Panthers on Friday evening. I think this will be a dud of a trial, with Manly naming a stronger team than the one that pretty easily beat South last week in Gosford. With Burbo, Bullimore, Brown, Garrick and Cooler coming in, as well as new recruits Brendan Wakeham and Jazz Tavanga. Well, the Panthers, they've got Sonny Luke in from the team that lost in week one of the trials, with the likes of Schneider, the McLean brothers, Dane Laurie, and the Top Gun crew of Ice and Mav. They're out as well for the Panthers. Manly should get the W and should get it pretty easily. The Eels were one of the more impressive teams last week, and they go in with a stronger team this weekend, despite no Dylan Brown. They've got Hopgood, Madison and Penasini, among others, back, with new recruits Zach Lomax, Jack Williams and Josh Addo-Carr named in the 28-man squad. The Tigers, they've named a much smaller squad with just 20 names appearing. Alex Lobb is out, but they have added Adam Dwayhe, Alex Twile, Seyfarth, Naden, Staines, Pole, and Fainu. And their new recruits, Jack Bird, Terrell May, and Royce Hunt. The Tigers team looks exciting, with talented youngsters like Heath Mason, Lockie Galvin, and Talon De Silva in their spine, and a solid-looking forward pack with their new additions. The Clemmer situation may be a distraction, but it's just a trial game, so maybe not. The Eels, they just looked so damn sharp last week, so I'm going to tip them, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Tigers win easy, so make of that what you will. Dragons and Rabbits in the traditional charity shield in Mudgee looks to be in South Sydney. They look to be in all sorts. They look like they're in a lot of trouble this week. Cameron Murray set to miss a big chunk of the season, while Latrell Mitchell has also suffered a setback. Josh Schuster seems like he just doesn't want it. And there's big question marks on the big import half, Lewis Dodd, as well as Peter Barmazelis. So it looks a very much under fire spine. Who would have thought that the Dragons would be going into games looking like the far more settled and competent spine? Unbelievable times we live in. The Dragons, they've named an identical starting 13 to last week when they pretty comfortably beat the Roosters. While they've added Jacob Little, Tyrell Sloan and Harmay Sele to their bench. There's still some good players in this South team, but the Dragons should win this comfortably. A doubleheader in Redcliffe starts with the Broncos against the Dogs. The Zimmer frame halves at the Broncos will try and teach some young dogs a few of their tricks. This is two teams that at their best could be competing for a top four spot, and they're both pretty much full strength going into this game. The Broncos looked physically very fit last week, and that may give them a slight edge in the early part of the season and in this trial. I expect this to be the best trial of the entire Witzer Pre-season challenge, if I'm honest. So sit back, enjoy, and hope that both teams beat the living daylights out of each other in a game that doesn't really matter. The second half of the doubleheader is the Redcliffe Dolphins against the Gold Coast Titans. The Titans, they were the most disappointing side last weekend as they named a strong-looking side against Brisbane and got soundly beaten. They add in the players that played in the All-Stars last week and Tino, so they are improved, but they damn well want to be. The Dolphins, they've named basically an entirely new team compared to the side that smashed the Cowboys. Hard to overlook how poor the Titans were last week. So just based on that, I'll go the Dolphins. At first glance, it appears the Roosters and Knights have named their reserve grade halves, but alas, the best these teams have are Sandon Smith and Chad Townsend and Fletcher Sharp and Tyson Gamble, respectively. Dire times for both sides. Both sets of halves were largely ineffective last weekend, so all being equal, I wouldn't be surprised if this game finishes as a 0-0 draw. While the halves battle might make you want to avoid this game, there are some other cracking contests with the Teddy v Ponga special, Saifidi and Thompson against Lenu and Collins, so there's a few good battles in this game. I expect a better showing from both teams, but I'll tip the Roosters. Why? I don't really know. I just think maybe they're a slightly better team than Newcastle, and the Knights rely too much on Ponga, who's not going to play 80 minutes in his role. That'll do. Our last game before the competition proper starts is the Melbourne Storm up against the North Queensland Cowboys. Both were dreadful last week, but neither had many, if any, that will be in their starting 17s for round one. This is really the first hit out for both teams. Looking forward to the Battle of the Sevens with Tyron Wishart up against Thomas Duffy. I've been a bit of a Duffy fan for a while and have heard that he's a very good chance of starting the year in the seven for the Cows. So I'm looking forward to seeing if he's up to the hype. I'm going to go the Cowboys because I think it's just a trial for Craig Bellamy and he's got his sights set on more important matters. Another round of trials, and once again, I've got no clue how most of these games are going to pan out. Don't bet on trials, for God's sake. But if you do, make sure you bet on the Dragons 13 plus over South. Come on, Dragons fans. Fire up!
Coco is at Mel's heart, she wears it on her sleeve. As Mother tells tales of dragons, wins and tune of victory. Tony and the MV crew will do their very best. Hitting off topic and I'll digress with a red bee on our chest. The Mad Dragon podcast is a sheep of camaraderie, navigating rants down rabbit holes in the land of big red bees. And so our peddlers speak the tales and our pursuit is our dream. The Mad Dragon podcast.